He doesn't argue. He doesn't explain. He doesn't slam the door. He just slowly disappears. And most people never notice until it's too late. This isn't about anger. It isn't about bitterness. That it's about silence. Today, we're breaking down the real psychological reasons men are quietly walking away from relationships, without drama, without warning, and without looking back. Listen closely. This is happening everywhere. Point 1. Emotional exhaustion, not emotional avoidance. Most men are not emotionally unavailable, but they're emotionally exhausted. Early on, men show up. They listen. They adjust. They try to be better partners. But over time, many feel like the emotional workload never balances out. They become the stabilizer, the fixer, the emotional shock absorber. Psychology calls this role strain. When someone feels responsible for maintaining emotional stability without support, the nervous system shifts into survival mode. At that point, silence feels safer than conversation. So men don't shut down because they don't care. They shut down because caring costs too much. Point 2. The slow erosion of respect. Respect is oxygen to male psychology. Not admiration, not praise, respect. When a man feels consistently misunderstood, corrected, or dismissed, something internal breaks. Not loudly, quietly. Studies on relational dynamics show that perceived disrespect triggers withdrawal faster in men than conflict itself. Arguments can be repaired, contempt cannot. So when jokes become jabs and feedback feels like constant disapproval, men stop engaging. They don't announce it, they don't negotiate. They emotionally step back first, then physically follow. Point 3. When vulnerability backfires. Men are told to open up, be vulnerable, share their feelings. Many do, and many regret it. Because when vulnerability is later used as ammunition, remembered during fights, or subtly held against them, the brain learns a dangerous lesson. Vulnerability equals risk. Psychologically, this creates emotional conditioning. Once burned, the nervous system adapts by closing access. Men stop sharing, then stop trying, then stop staying. Not because they hate intimacy, but because intimacy stopped feeling safe. Point 4. The loss of purpose inside the relationship. Men thrive when they feel useful, needed, and impactful. Not controlled, not managed, not supervised. When a relationship becomes a space where a man feels replaceable or unnecessary, motivation collapses. Behavioral psychology shows that purpose-driven roles increase commitment. Aimless roles decrease it. If he feels like an accessory instead of a contributor, disengagement becomes inevitable. He doesn't say, "I feel useless here." He just slowly removes himself. Point 5. Chronic criticism changes identity. One complaint doesn't matter. Point 10 might. But constant criticism reshapes identity. When a man hears what he's doing wrong more than what he's doing right, his self-concept shifts. He stops seeing himself as a good partner, then stops trying to be one. This is called learned helplessness. When effort no longer changes outcomes, effort disappears. Men don't leave because they think they're bad men. They leave because they start believing they can never be good enough. Point 6. Peace becomes more valuable than passion. At a certain point, men stop chasing excitement. They start chasing peace. Neuroscience shows that chronic relational stress keeps cortisol elevated. Over time, the body craves relief, not love, relief. So when being alone feels calmer than being together, the decision becomes biological, not emotional. Men don't walk away dramatically. They drift toward silence because silence feels like rest. Point 7. The fear of being the villain. Here's something rarely discussed. Many men stay quiet because they don't want to be seen as the bad guy. They don't want to argue. They don't want to explain. They don't want to justify their feelings. So instead of confronting the problem, they choose the path of least resistance. They emotionally check out first. Then one day they're gone. Not because they didn't care, because they cared enough to avoid conflict, even at their own expense. Point 8. Modern expectations without modern support. Men today are expected to be emotionally aware, financially stable, supportive, ambitious, present, confident, sensitive, and calm under pressure. all at once. But many feel there's little space for their own confusion, fear, or failure. Psychologically, this creates role overload. When expectations rise, but emotional support doesn't match, burnout follows. And burnout doesn't scream. It whispers, "I'm tired. I'm done. I want out." Point 9. Silent resentment builds faster than loud anger. Anger gets attention. Resentment grows unchecked. Men are less likely to vocalize resentment in real time. They internalize it. Each unresolved moment gets stored. Each disappointment adds weight. Until one day, the emotional scale tips. And when that happens, there's no dramatic ending. Just absence. Because in his mind, he already left months ago. Point 10. Walking away feels like regaining control. At the core, this is about autonomy. When men feel unheard, boxed in, or emotionally cornered, walking away becomes an act of self-regulation. Not revenge, not punishment. Self-preservation. Psychology tells us that people disengage when they feel powerless. Leaving restores a sense of agency. And for many men, that quiet exit is the first moment they feel in control again. The part nobody talks about. Most men don't leave suddenly. They leave slowly. They stop initiating conversations. They stop sharing thoughts. They stop planning futures. By the time the relationship officially ends, the emotional exit already happened. And often no one noticed. Because silence looks like stability until it isn't. Men are not walking away because relationships don't matter. They're walking away because staying started costing more than leaving. This isn't about blame, that it's about awareness. Healthy relationships don't drain silently. They don't punish vulnerability. They don't erode respect over time. They create safety for both people. If men are disappearing quietly, it's not because they stopped caring. It's because somewhere along the way, they stopped feeling safe enough to stay. And silence was the only exit left.